Hello my fellow gamers and welcome to a tutorial on how to start a new city in Nebuchadnezzar and level up your citizens' homes. I'm going to explain to you step by step how to make a basic food chain and distribution network and show you one layout which makes it easy to start a new city and set up for future leveling of those citizens' homes. In case you're new to my channel or this game, my name is Peter and you will find more videos on this game on my channel by following the link up here and in the description below. Now let's start on a nice empty map. First you need to locate an area with a good amount of fertile land, where you can grow grain and set goats to graze so they will produce milk. If the map does not have a large fertile patch, you will easily create more by setting up a small irrigation system. An irrigation channel will supply water to and make fertile 3 squares on each side of it. You will fill it with water from the river by placing an irrigation pump between it and the river side. If the channel is not fully filled, you will need to add an additional pump. Since these do not require workers or maintenance, feel free to add as many as you need. Now that the entire channel is filled, you need to plan where to place your first farm. To feed the peasants, your first citizens, you need a grain farm and a goat farm. The green dotted line shows you the maximum range in which you can set up individual fields for that farm. Try to overlap them as little as possible, but some overlap will be okay. Now you need a warehouse which will receive grain and goat milk, which has to be in the range of the farm's haulers, workers which transport goods. This is represented by the blue dotted line. Each farm needs a road to the warehouse, but since the warehouse does not have a specific entrance, any square around it will do for an entrance point. Since goat milk is produced constantly and grain seasonally, set up the limits so that you reserve more space for grain. Turn all other goods off for this warehouse. As for the farms, there you will find 2 slots filled with farmers or shepherds and 1 hauler. Add 1 more shepherd for the goat farm and then choose the goat pasture option. Place the pastures until you fill each shepherd's maximum workload, that is 18 field patches each. One advice here, when the road to the warehouse is this long, for 3 shepherds you will need 2 haulers. The longer the road, the longer the round trip, and it will create a bottleneck in production. Now repeat the process for the grain farm. When adding the individual farm plots, plan for the placement of future farms and place the farm plots accordingly. After this is done, we need to find a clear and wide area for placing the future homes of your new citizens. Them being the peasants, as only their class will settle in a new city where there is no food or water. It is very important for this area to have places with no rocks at them, as you will need to incorporate wells in this layout for future upgrading of peasants' homes. A good rule of thumb is to place 2 wells on the opposite end of a single long road, as these will be the core of your new settlement. The homes and other important buildings needed for growth will be placed in between these. But before this, you need to place new warehouses into which you will bring food and other goods these peasants will require of you before they can level up their homes. 4 warehouses is ideal, and soon you will see why. If you are enjoying this tutorial, please think about leaving a like, comment on your favorite city building game, and even subscribe to my channel for more videos about this and other strategy games. The poor market is the next building you will need, as its workers will distribute food and goods from these warehouses. You want them placed really close to the warehouse, as that cuts down on the travel time of haulers and makes them more efficient. Besides water, food and goods, to level up the peasants' homes to their maximum 4th level, you will need administrators. This is why you can already add this building to the layout or just leave an empty 2x2 spot for it. For administration to function, you will need another good in the future, and that is what the 4th warehouse is for. Just like farms, markets have 2 types of workers. Haulers to bring in the goods and traders to distribute them. Each good requires its own trader and its own path. But to set that up, we need to add more roads and fill the spaces in between them with peasants' homes. For starters, you can eyeball it, but about 3 dozen homes will get you started. It is important to limit each warehouse to 1 particular good, so you can organize its transportation from production to consumption centers. 1 for bread and 1 for milk. The other 2 we will use later. Since we are going to be producing grain, but peasants eat the bread, we need bakeries next to the warehouses where grain will be delivered. 2 for starters, more later. Now to transport the bread and milk to the consumption center, we need caravanners, workers from a specialized building which transfer large amounts of goods from one warehouse to another. I would advise using a separate warehouse for bread, as 3 goods in a single one can cause storage and delivery problems. The transport routes are set up by first selecting a warehouse which will have these goods and set them for loading, and the other warehouse for unloading of the same goods. Red arrow is for loading, green is for unloading. Second, click on each caravanner's pathing option, the plus sign, and set the start and end point for this path as warehouses with the same goods selected. Now just connect your layout's roads to the main road and watch the settlers move in. They will pick up all the jobs currently available and production will start immediately. They do not need bread or milk to move in, they need them to level up. So feel free to wait for a bit for the warehouses to fill up before setting up the food distribution from the markets. This step requires setting up the food distribution by adding paths for the market's traders, which have to go past each home in their path for that home to receive a delivery of food or goods that each trader distributes. If the home turns green, it's covered. You can easily copy that route to another trader by clicking on the green flag of the first trader when you start making a route for the next one. Because of that long road between the goat farm and the warehouse, 2 haulers are necessary to move all the milk. The instant peasants receive milk and bread, they will level up their homes and more of them will move in, increasing your workforce. Now you can add another goat farm to boost production as well as another grain farm. But you do not have to have them fully efficient as you won't be spending that much bread or milk yet. With homes and markets filled with food and peasants leveled up to level 2, it's time to plan for the next level up. For it, they will require ceramics and water. Wells for water we already have, so now we need a ceramics production chain. It starts with clay pits, which cannot be built on rocks, naturally. Start with 2 and then add ceramic workshops. You will need a warehouse to store finished ceramics, so add that one close by and set it to receive only ceramics and to load them onto caravans. Similarly, set one warehouse in the center of the city to offload ceramics from the caravanners. Add a new caravannner and set his route to load ceramics at the production site and unload them at the warehouse. While you wait for the ceramics to be produced, add more clay pits and ceramic workshops to have more of a supply. If you need more workers or have warehouses overflowing with food, add some new peasants' homes, extend the roads to cover them, and add more stops for the traders from the market to deliver food to those homes as well. With the ceramics warehouse full, add one more trader to each market to deliver ceramics and copy the same path from other traders. Turn on the wells and add delivery paths for water onto the roads covering all of those homes. If necessary, add more production of ceramics once homes start to level up to their level 3 to have a constant supply. You can use the overlays, keyboard keys 2, 3 and 5 to check the goods distribution for milk, bread and ceramics. As for leveling up these homes to level 4, they require beer as a new good and administration from the building I mentioned in the beginning of this video. But since peasants cannot be administrators, you need the second class townsfolk. They won't be moving into your city before you meet their requirements, but that is a whole other subject which I will cover in my next tutorial for Nebuchadnezzar. I hope this video has helped you start a new city properly, and I will add cards on the screen for more such videos. Thank you for watching and happy gaming!